Hello and welcome to another video for Executive Communication. My name is Dr. Michael Edmondson. This video looks at the three types of articles you will use for this class. The three types of articles are scholarly, popular, and trade. So we're going to take a look at each one specifically and then an example of each. That should help you understand the different types of articles. So let's start with scholarly. These articles are written by authorities in the field, such as professors or researchers. A lot of scholarly articles these days have more than one author. It's important to remember that these people are often, all they do, they spend their entire career studying this one specific field. Who are these articles written for? Basically other authorities and scholars in the field, generally not for the general public. Authors expect readers to understand specialized language, and the tone of the writing is very formal. There's very little explanation of basic terms in these articles because there is an expectation that the writers have that the audience will understand such elementary terms. Sources are cited in a formal style in endnotes, footnotes, or bibliographies. Often scholarly works have dozens or hundreds of citations. The appearance is generally very formal, labeled sections. There's an abstract, there's a conclusion, there's a bibliography. There might be others as well, so it's a very formal appearance. If there are any images, they're usually charts, graphs, and tables, and very clearly labeled and related to the text. And they are reviewed by peers. In other words, if you want to get published in a scholarly publication and you're a PhD in history, you need to have your work reviewed by other PhDs in history for it to be a peer-reviewed scholarly publication. Now let's take a look at popular articles. These are written by journalists, staff writers, or even freelance writers. If you're a student, you could write a popular article on a specific topic and get it published today. Generally, these popular articles only have one author. Sometimes no author is listed. It all depends on the printing or publishing situation. These articles are written for a general audience, unlike scholarly articles, which are written for a very specific audience. So anyone can generally read a popular article. Popular articles are written to entertain as well as to inform. Author explains all the terms the reader might not be familiar with. The tone is rather informal. Unlike the scholarly, where there is generally no explanation of basic terms, there is in a popular article. That is kind of the point of a popular article, is to explain rudimentary facts to an audience that would be otherwise unfamiliar with the information. Sources may be mentioned, but most likely are not going to be cited in any formal way. If you see a popular article on a blog, there might be a link, but there's probably no formal citation. There's generally no abstract or other formal section. It's just a 500-word article, a 1,000-word article about a specific topic. Images are large and often colorful. Sometimes they're in a PDF. In a scholarly article, it's rare to get a picture or an image. If you do, again, there'll be charts or tables. There's data. Popular articles often use a good deal of imagery to help illustrate a point. And there's no peer review. So in other words, you could write an article and no one has to review it for a popular magazine or publication, and it would get published. So trade, there's the third type of article. There's scholarly, there's popular, and then there's trade. So trade is very different. Each actually of these three are so very different. So trade publications are written by specialists in the field. Generally, they have one author or no author for a trade. And these are written for people who work in the field itself. They offer practical information or news. The authors expect the readers to understand specialized language. Oftentimes, a trade article is a follow-up to a previous report or series of publications. Sources may be mentioned, but are unlikely to be cited in a trade publication. For the appearance, trade articles are unlikely to have formal sections. Images are usually intended to illustrate concepts rather than decorate the page. which is the case for a popular article, and there's no peer review. So if this all seems a little hazy, let's get to some real examples here to help us understand the difference between the three types of articles: scholarly, popular, and trade. Scholarly articles. Let's take a look at this title here. Neil Shneiderman, Stress and Health, Psychological, Behavioral, and Biological Determinants, published in the Annual Review of Clinical Psychology, 2005, Volume 1, pages 607 to 628. That is a scholarly article. A popular version of a stress article could be William R. Clem, How Stress Changes Your Brain, Psychology Today, Psychology Today, published August 30th, 2018. Both articles deal with stress, one written by a professor that focuses in on psychological, behavioral, and biological determinants, published in a peer-reviewed journal. The second one is a popular article published in Psychology Today, written in a far different language. And then the third is a trade publication. Sophia Bethune, quote, Generation Z more likely to report mental health concerns, published by the American Psychological Association and their publication, Monitor on Psychology, January 2019, Volume 50, Number 1. So three very different articles on stress. So for Shneiderman, the scholarly article on stress is published in a peer-reviewed journal, Annual Review of Clinical Psychology, and Shneiderman's article actually contains over 140 footnotes. You can check it out. The popular article by Clem is on stress, published in the magazine Psychology Today, that is written in a far less sophisticated manner. There are no footnotes. It reads very differently. And finally, the trade article on stress comes directly from the American Psychological Association and is written by a psychologist for a psychologist. So three very different types of articles: scholarly, popular, and trade. And as always, hopefully this video helped you understand the three different types of articles. And if you have any questions, please let me know. Thank you very much, and good luck with your research on finding three types of articles.